in that I met a girl. I met a girl there, and I won't use her real name, but she attended a church down not very far from there. And one day I was just really being short. I really was being short because I was just frustrated. I knew there was a missing piece in me. My mom would always say, you need to really get back in church. You know, I grew you up in church and you really don't, spend a lot of time. You come up with excuses and you're working on Sunday. And I said, well, I got to make money, you know. And by now, my mom is almost engaged and get ready to marry my stepfather. So this is all, that worked very well for her. But then I was getting scared because I'm losing her again and I got to move and just all of this stuff going on. I'm in school and I was just going through all of these mixed feelings. So I was upset with life. It dawned on me I was becoming really, really bitter because I felt like I had been dealt a raw hand. I'm like, no, that's not right. That's really not right. So this one young lady, she would talk to me and she'd say, oh, you need Jesus. I'll never forget her voice. I said, what do you mean I need Jesus? She'd come in and she starts singing this song called I Won't Complain. And that's a very, of course, common song in the traditional African-American church. As it were then, it is now, still yet. And then she started talking about, I had some good days. I've had some bad days. I've had some, hills to climb. And she goes on and she's singing loud. I said, you know what? And by now I'm head cashier. So you need to really be quiet with that song. You know, it's just really bothering me. Stop that. And she's like, I said, do you want to punch out? So I was just really, I was bad.
You're the head cashier. You're going to punch her out?
Yes, I was going to punch her out. I had the authority to do it because she wasn't doing her job. Her singing was interfering with her getting her job done. And she would go off in a daze and just sometimes just not do anything when there weren't customers. So that was more of the reason for me to say, if you do that again, I'll make you punch out. So she's like, why are you so mad? And I said, well, I'm your boss. I don't have to explain that to you. And I said, don't ask me that question again in a roundabout way. And so time went on. And one Sunday, she came to me after she came from church and she said, oh, wow. She had always had this chippy personality. Oh, wow. I'm like, what are you so happy about? She said, would you like to go to church with me on Sunday? I said, no, why should I? I don't want to go to church with you. She said, oh, come on, you enjoy it. And I said, if I go to church with you, will you stop asking me? Because now this is like the second, third, or fourth time she's asked me. And so I said, yeah, I will. I'll do it. And I said, if I go, you better not tell anyone, no one in this place that I went to church with you. So I show up at church, my youngest sister and I'll never forget. I don't know what to expect when I walk in this building because it's like almost old factory. Do you remember like the flat factory buildings? Yeah. And it had the church's name on it. I'm like, are we at the right church here? And my youngest was like, I don't know, I'm just following you. And so when we open the door, there's an usher right on the back of the door. And I'm going, this is just way too much for me. And I thought maybe I would have time to turn around and wouldn't walk right into the church. But he opens, and there's the back of the pew as he opens the door. And he's laughing. He has this smile. I'll never forget Daryl's face. Come on in. Welcome. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. To this day, he's still at that same church. But needless to say, I walk in. And then all this activity is going on. I'm from a traditional Baptist church. I'm not used to all of this. I'm used to the same person fainting on Sunday, or the one saying, Holy Jesus, and the hat that goes up a little bit. But this is radical. The music's going. I mean, the organ's cranked and the drums are, and just a little bit of everything going on. Woman shouting backwards, hat over her face. I'm going, whoa. This is just too much for me. And my youngest sister's going, wow. And I'm like, oh, it's time to go. And he said, oh, no, stay. Let me find you a seat.
Did he put the...
2 seats. And guess what? The 2 seats were close to the front.
Oh, of
And
course. He's a good
so
usher.
he was a good usher. So I look up as I'm walking down the aisle to the front, and I see my friend. I call her my friend. I'm not going to call her name. And she's just at it with the tambourine. She's happy.
Oh.
She's going at it. She's happy as a lark. I mean, just bouncy. I'm like, and she sees me. She's like, I'm like, I can tell she's saying to the person next to her, that's my friend from work, or that's my, whomever she referenced me as. I'm going, oh my gosh, I just want to pee my pants. I'm like, I have to get out of here. And then the woman with that shouting, she comes right across our pew, and I'm going, this is just too much. And my ears just like, what's wrong with her? I'm like, no. I think she caught the Holy Ghost. But needless to say, I left there, didn't say a word about it the next day at work, and she came in smiling that day. I'm like, what are you smiling at? She said, I'm so glad you came to church. She said, did you enjoy yourself? I said, no, because you told your pastor about me. And he was just talking about I needed to be born again. I needed to find my place in the Lord and need to forgive myself first.
So he was talking about you. He was preaching to you.
He was preaching to me.
Preaching on you.
She said, exactly. So she goes on to say, she said, no, I promise you, I didn't tell him anything. He just knows those things.
Mm-hmm.
I said, he is definitely a wise man then. So I took it as if she did tell him, because I didn't know. I wasn't in the proper frame of mind. She said, come again. I want you to meet my mom. She's a missionary. She can explain a lot of stuff to you. So I'm like, I don't know. I'll think about that, because you guys are too radical for me. And time went on, maybe a month or two later. I said, okay, I'll come again. And I remember coming in and people just hugging, being so nice. She described her mom to me previously. I know exactly where mom is by appearance when I come in. And so her mom has this smile on her face. And I know that I'm the target after church. I know that I am. Yeah. Needless to say, I'll never, ever forget. We sat close to the back. I was very determined this time to sit further away from the front. And I'll never forget the invitation. I remember the sermon, but I remember the invitation more and how thorough it was. And just to come as you are, just open your heart up and allow him in. You can be hurting. You could very well feel like life has not treated you well. He just went into every avenue that
you were feeling it too.
That I could relate to, and I could feel, and I could sense the sincerity of. Because, general people can lure you, and that was my thing. You're not going to lure me. You're going to be the real deal. And he was the real deal. His presentation, his delivery of the message, and all of it was great. But the invitation was the piece that hit the areas that I was really struggling with. And with the father, the absenteeism of a father at the time had left. And then now me having to receive another father who I didn't know, well, and I didn't really want to get to know. And I thought perhaps, okay, he will leave too. And then I'm trying to associate a relationship with the Heavenly Father. Now, I went through my experience in the South of the mourner's bench and all of that, and I received religion, right? And I could connect to that. I could there was some type of connection that took me back to all of that piece. But it's like, I don't know if I'm ready to receive this fully. My mom told me about it when my cousin passed. I was all of that was coming back. I was wrapping my heart around that, my mind around it. And there was something about that invitation, though, that drew me to the front. I looked up. I'm standing right in front of him, and he's praying for me. His hand is on my shoulder, and I'm just a mess now. My whole face is all messed up. I'm crying, and I had not cried like that in a long time. The most I cried like that was when I was back home. My mom had left, and I was in that bedroom crying, asking God, why did you leave me? Have you forgotten about me? Have you forgotten about us? And he reminded me. right there of that.
Isn't that wonderful that he does that?
I never leave you.
Yes.
Neither will I forsake you.
Yes.
It is wonderful. So that piece right there in that moment changed my life forever. Meeting that young lady, me thinking I was going to get a job. Yeah, I got the job, but I got more than that. And 23 years I was there at that church. 25 years, my husband, I met him there. We baptized both our children there.
Wow. That is
Dedicated
so
both of
awesome.
them. One was baptized there.
That is so awesome. And it's just amazing how God takes you on a journey and he never leaves you. He doesn't send you on a journey. He goes right with you every step of the way. So now at this point with I've Got Something to Say, what is your desire with this book? Because even in reading it, it's not just a story. It is a testimony, which is why I wanted you for this segment. It's a testimony. And the purpose of a testimony is to encourage, strengthen someone else.
Yeah.
So what is your goal with I've Got Something to Say? Well, what do you want it to do?
Well, and this is like you said, my goal. My goal is to share the story, is to get it out there. There is no monetary gain at all. I want people to be educated on these types of experiences, these types of challenges in life. The sense of urgency you mentioned earlier in our conversation is still yet where I am in this memoir. This is memoir 1. I'm working toward 2, and I want to do a 3 as well. In this memoir, the closure of the memoir, that is, it talks about me even becoming engaged in the workplace and how that even at age 20-ish or so, after I was married to my husband, there was a gentleman that suffered in the workplace. We gotten to know, myself and 2 or 3 others, gotten to know, and we were very close to, and we worked very, very well together. And he became ill and passed on just like that. The amount of moral support I had to provide for those friends, again, landed me back to some of the places that we talked about earlier. There are multiple stories within stories and multiple accounts within accounts in this book. And all of them are centered around my life, around my experiences, around what shaped me, what continues to motivate me. In this book here, I think if I were to point out 3 things that I want people to really take away would be, don't leave your legacy out of the legacy. Be transformational. Don't be afraid to share. Don't be afraid to share who you are. Don't be afraid, because fear and intimidation will prevent you from reaching your goals in life.
Oh, yes. Most definitely. I love that. So let's tell everybody how to follow you, how to get the book, your social media, your website. Just tell everybody how to follow you.
Okay,
and
absolutely.
We can wait for those next 2 volumes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. You can pick up your e-copy of I've Got Something to Say on www.havesomething2say.com. So that's www.havesomething2say.com. When you actually go onto my webpage, there's a link there for a YouTube demo. You can make your book purchase there. I am also available on Amazon, on any of the book sites that you can purchase books. I'm out there. So feel free. Feel free to look me up. There is a snippet of an overview for you to take a look at before you make your purchase. Remember, you need to make your purchase on a notepad, an iPad. An iPhone is too small. It's not conducive to downloading the full book, but do that. And trust me, you will be inspired. You will be inspired. You will be encouraged, and you will be impacted.
Thank you so much. And I was not surprised at all because you're inspiring. Your presence is inspiring. So I was excited to read the book. And again, I was not disappointed. So you do want to download the book. You can even just Google it because that's what I did.
Thank you.
I kind of Googled it and I found it and I downloaded it. It's a great read. It's a good gift, especially if you talk to young women because Dondretta, she covers a lot of common themes that young women go through. And I'm so glad you shared it because sometimes you know how when you go through something, you just swear you're the only one who's gone through this. Right. No one has ever possibly been this dumb. Yeah. No one has never been through much pain. No one is hurt as bad as I have. You know, you just feel this.
Absolutely.
So a lot of the issues that we go through, I love the way Dondretta sort of walks us through them. And knowing her and seeing her now, we see you on the other side of them. And that is a very encouraging piece. So I thank you for sharing your story and writing that and just being so open and transparent. And I also thank you for sharing with us today. I'm so glad. Kicking off this show with you is just the best thing ever.
Sure.
So thank you.
Thank you, Valenti. I really appreciate that. And also, if I could also add this little small piece too.
Sure.
If you're interested in booking me to come and share my story further, I'd be happy to do that live for you. Feel free to contact me still yet on my webpage and directly at 630-854-4080. That's 630-854-4080. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being on your show.
Okay. Thank you.